What up, y'all? Welcome to the Gunslinger Gaming Frosty Pints podcast. I'm Gobi. With me tonight is Bomb Tank, DrNiggle, Masami, OmegaConstruct, The Eliteness, and Zero Burn 75. So sit back and enjoy the ride. How y'all doing tonight?
What's up?
He did the thing where he does the thing.
Gonna enjoy the my name first, cool.
Oh,
I thought there was someone blowing their nose.
no, I think he was booing the new Harry Potter game.
Actually, no. I might actually play the new Harry Potter game. It sounds nice, and it's been a while since I've watched Harry Potter. I might do that again in preparation.
Wait,
you just want to look at the wands, don't you?
I love a nice wand, a nice thick thumb width wand.
Oh, we're so going thumb deep right away, aren't we?
Is that?
So
is
it's
that
what
I
Zero
mean, if you're gonna
wants.
go into it, you gotta go all the way and just get right at it.
I mean, I think Zero is like obligated to play if it's got thumb deep ones in it.
You're damn right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm probably gonna end up buying this stupid game because of my daughter. Yeah. Harry
Don't sound
Potter
too
all the time.
enthusiastic about spending time with your daughter then. Okay.
Oh no, I have no problem spending time with my daughter. I just don't know if I want to do it in the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
I know.
I mean, it will be built in UE4, so it should be pretty. So there's that.
Pretty gay.
Well, it's Harry Potter, so that's kind of implied.
How dare you?
I can't wait. Actually,
It is perfectly fine franchise.
I'm definitely gonna play it. I hope that it's got co-op so that me and Niggle can go
Touch tips.
flap our ones about together.
Yeah, so that our
Oh,
wands
see, now
can
you
connect.
did that one yourself.
Ooh, you guys can do the whole Voldemort Harry Potter thing, and your wands can touch and make fireworks.
That's
I'll
what we
be
do,
Harry.
like,
I'll be
literally
Harry
every
you can be
weekend.
Hermione.
Yeah, that's like a regular course of events.
That's
I'm
just a
not-
normal Saturday.
Yeah, nothing special. What we're really after here are thick wands that we can... Actually, what would we do? If we were in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Linus, what would our shtick be? We couldn't do like the Fred and George Weasley bullshit, because they already have a monopoly on that.
We'd wave our wands together.
Oh God, why are you
Like-
putting an H?
Like
Jesus
No,
Christ!
I
Do
disagree.
not do that.
You guys would definitely be Fred and George Weasley, but without pants. And
Oh, we would do the Fred and George Weasley thing, but all of our wares that we sold would be slightly naughty.
yes,
What would
that
make
that
you
is
Slightly.
You
What
can't go
makes you
too
think
overt.
that-
It's a fucking kids movie.
Like the chocolate frogs.
Yeah, but they're chocolate balls. Salty chocolate balls. I bet no one's ever done that before.
Chocolate gerbils.
I was about to say, what makes you think that Fred and George Weasley did not have pants off screen? Seriously.
We could, though, have gerbil suppositories. We could call them the Richard Gears.
What? Oh my God!
PETA is so gonna come down on us.
It's what I love about that so
okay.
much. It's
That's
completely false. It's a way false rumor. There's no way he ever did that, but I love perpetuating it.
You know what makes it even better? You know what makes it even better? The fact that I knew exactly where you were going with that prior to you going there with that.
That'd be more surprising to me if we hadn't been talking about thumbs before podcast.
Ah, yes, good point.
All right, boys, thumb
Yes.
deep.
Yeah. Well,
Thumbs
and now it's
So that one's 3 thumbs up for me and Niggle.
how far did I make it? 2 minutes? 4 minutes.
Warframe.
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 Doing Warframe. The hordes of frames.
I don't know. There was a major content drop. Which was okay, maybe not a content drop, but it was a content drop. It had content in it. Everything's technically content. Continents. I don't know where I'm going with this, Masami.
Masami, please save him. Please save him.
That's impossible. I'm not doing a job on. You cannot pay me enough to save him, but I will, bring some context to his comments in that this month or week or whatever in Warframe, they dropped a big main line of nothing but fixes and improvements and other sorts of things. TM.
Let's see. All right. So here's a list of 20 ginormous. There were 20 points that they updated.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for the points. That's a good one.
All right. So we got a shield gating system now, which is good because it was entirely possible in some missions where you just get one-shotted as a Warframe, which is not fun. Like, you get one-shotted and then you res, and then you're up and you get one-shotted 5 seconds later. It's not cool. So now what happens is, if something does that much damage where it would actually kill you, instead of actually killing you, it just drops you down, your shields down to nothing. You get a very brief moment of invulnerability, and then you can be damaged again. And the idea behind this is for you to notice that your shields are gone, something just did a massive amount of damage to you, and you need to start moving or doing something about it immediately. So that was something. NPCs also have a similar mechanic, but they have weak spots. So if you hit them on a weak spot, not only does it deplete their shields, but it also kills them instantly. There's also bleed over. So, you do damage enough to take down someone's shields. It also does 5% damage to their health. Potentially, if you do enough damage to them and you don't hit them on a weak spot, you can still one-shot them. But, whatever. So that was a big feature. Blah, blah, blah. They reworked how armor went, or how armor scales, which is good, because not everybody enjoyed using corrosive projection and corrosive damage all the fucking time. There is now a possibility to stack status damage, so you can go over 100% status, and it does some pretty neat things. I've been messing around with that with some shotgun builds. Shotguns now work correctly. There's no more of this bullshit about status per pellet being terrible until you make it to 100% and then it being godly. There's actually a status graph that you can look at on this page, which doesn't help anybody listening to this podcast, but status works correctly.
The graph is pretty. It's very pretty.
It's so pretty. There's a line, and that's pretty much
colored.
it.
Yeah.
There is color, yep. What else? A bunch of small other stuff. The only other big, really huge feature that a lot of people are in GS might know is that if you built your railjack a while ago, then you got refunded all the material costs, because they dropped the material costs significantly. So everything that you spent that went over the new costs, you got back. Masami and I both got 5.4 million credits one day and a whole shit ton of other resources. Yeah, it was great. Beautiful. And if you finish your railjack, you also got 2 maintenance drones that you can use to just instantly build whenever you want to. So I'm gonna save on until I get something neat.
Yes. The last probably main thing is that they got rid of self-damage, and instead it's...
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about that one.
I remember somebody was talking about that. Was it you, Niggle?
It was probably me. Yeah, just because they did 2 things, which I think are hilarious. They increased arcane levels from 3 to 5, so now you can rank up your arcanes to level 5. Before, 3 was the cap, obviously, so now everybody has a reason to go Eidolon hunting again and farm for arcanes and max your arcanes out once more. At the same time, they eliminated self-damage, and anybody who likes to hunt Eidolons or do Tridolon runs at night knows that Chroma has a mechanic. He's pretty much the best damage dealer in the game. Has a mechanic where he self-damages himself to get one of his damage buffs up to past 1,000%. So you do some godly amounts of damage shooting the Eidolon, and that's how you take it down so quickly, and that's why you can do 5x4 or 5x3s, which is 5 Tridolon hunts in one night in under 40 minutes, which is very impressive. I don't think I've ever managed to do that, but some people have. So that whole build is gone. There's no more speed farming with Chromebite anymore. So they say that they didn't want to make it so that people were grinding for arcanes more and to increase the grind, but they took away the main way to grind the arcanes efficiently, so we're all going to have to grind more. So that was a little bit of horse shit.
They patched it by saying the fact that Little Duck in the upcoming Scarlet Spear release, which is supposed to be happening sometime soon here before the end of the month, is going to be vendoring some of the arcades, but you've got to do the special event. It's basically giving a second way to gain the arcades instead of just try-to-lawn hunting. So that was kind of their justification on that one.
Right. So the only I'm gonna be the negative Nancy because Masami is doing a very good job being positive about this. The only problem with Scarlet Spear is that you're gonna have teams. You're gonna have a 4-man team on a railjack, and you're gonna have a 4-man team supporting the railjack. So that's 8 people. You gotta play with 8 people. In a pub without voice communication, that's gonna be a fucking shit show.
Oh yes.
Railjack is already a shit show in pubs.
That's like watching Division 2 raid in pubs. It's hilarious.
Yeah, imagine doing a breakpoint raid on an island in a pub where the guys are just trying to type to each other like what to do.
It wouldn't do. I played the raid and just know like I would so leave.
So yeah, that's my problem with it. I'm interested to see how they're going to get around this because they said that none of these changes are final. They're observing how the community reacts, and they will change their changes accordingly.
Well, at least they're not final.
No, Warframe has always been a very flexible game, and the development team has always never been afraid to go back on things that they have changed, mainly because they want to keep people playing the game. And listening to your community and altering it accordingly is a good way to do that.
Boy, that sounds like something that a certain company that I used to enjoy should learn from.
Oh, are you talking about Activision? Activision?
No,
Bungie.
Definitely
Bungie.
Activision.
Talking about Bungie too? Oh, gee.
Oh yeah.
Those poor guys.
His favorite love.
I have zero pity for those motherfuckers.
I'm pretty sure we all do. And yeah, we could go on a Destiny 2 rant, but instead we could go on a Ghost Recon rant because yes, that is. So the new immersive mode was supposed to launch way back in February. And yeah, Lee, go get your laundry. But they delayed it. And of course, it wouldn't have been so bad if they hadn't waited till the day before the patch was supposed to come out to say we delayed it. It is now officially coming on March 28th, I believe, or 25th. One or the other. Anyway, it makes quite a few changes to the game. It basically lets you change anything you want about the game in certain ways. Like you can get rid of gear score, you can limit the number of bandages you carry. Yeah, just small stuff like that. You can change the UI and see what you get. So, and the nice thing is you can play custom. Like I can play a custom mode. DrNiggle can play completely standard, and Leetness can go complete on ghost mode where insta-death, and we can all play in the same game.
Can you imagine Leetness trying to go in full ghost mode with insta-death?
Yeah, no, the only person here who would play Ghost Recon that would probably attempt that is me.
Please,
you two like grenades way too much.
You know, that's a good point. Lead has numbers in his name.
I do.
Yes, he does. And Gears of War is 133.7 gigabytes as well. It has
notice the 33 in my name. Coincidence? I think not.
So now I know Niggle and Lee, you guys play it. What are your guys' thoughts on Ghost Recon? I guess Omega does too. He's been quiet. I forgot he was here.
Yeah, go Omega.
I think there's going to be problems when you have people in the same party basically playing different games. It's going to be really annoying when one guy in your party keeps dying over and over and over again because they're on whatever stupid hardcore mode they think they want to play on. I like the changes, but I feel like that's going to be it's going to lead to some pretty serious imbalances between players. When you've got like limiting bandages, stuff like that. Like some players are going to be able to heal as much as they need to. Other players are going to be running around with injuries for half the game. I like the changes, but I think the way that they're going about making it so granular that each player can adjust each individual thing versus whether if they made like 2 or 3 tiers of difficulty with various options on or off, and a whole party would play in one of those ways, I think would make more sense. So I am curious just to actually get some gameplay in with a variety of settings in the party just to see how it works out, because my instinct is that it's gonna be a little fucky.
What I'm hearing is that we all have to be comfortable with yelling at our friends from now on. So when Gobi keeps on dying because he's playing on super stealthy ghost mode with insta-kill and we're all having to carry through missions and everything, we just have to be not afraid to yell at Gobi to turn the difficulty down.
Oh no. See, I'm smart enough, and I've played with you guys enough to know that if I want to do that, I do that solo and not with you guys, because you guys like grenades way too much.
Things that go boom.
There now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but Wildlands had a similar mechanic. And most of the time when we were playing on Wildlands, I doubt we were actually all playing on the same difficulty, because 90% of the time I played on extreme. And I know you guys were playing on lower difficulties, and it didn't really affect anything.
Get it? You're a super hardcore ultra gamer. God.
No, I love Ghost Recon.
The vigorous thrusting.
But I like Ghost Recon, and I like the challenge of the higher difficulties. I mean, basically in Ghost Recon, the only changes in the difficulty settings is enemies see you faster, and they kill you in less hits, which, I mean, standard mode, you die in 5 hits. Extreme mode, you die in 3 hits. That's the biggest difference in Wildlands. It is. Now, Breakpoint, I haven't played on the hardest difficulty or anything like that. It's been pretty standard. I haven't even beat the story because of some bugs and stuff, which are now fixed. I just haven't went back and actually finished the story missions. I'm looking forward to the update, but I do agree with Omega. I do think it's going to cause some issues, and I think we're going to have another patch to smooth out those issues, but I feel like it's a good step in the right direction.
I'm most excited about the elimination of gear score, so I'm definitely going to turn that off.
One note, you cannot play the raid with gear score turned off. You can do everything else in the game with gear score turned off. Yeah, no, I mean, once you hit 150 and you're raid ready anyway, it's not a big deal anyway. Gear score doesn't really matter for the 5 minutes you turn it, or the couple hours you turn it on for the raid. Speaking of the raid, I know we were going to talk about the update, but Scotsman 71 has been running the raid on Xbox with a couple of gunslingers, and they were having trouble with the very first boss. I did post a raid guide on the forums if you guys do decide to try out the raid. I also, in the Ghost Recon chat, I posted 2 pictures. They're for the supercomputer boss. I highly recommend having them up on your screen or being able to look at them, because it can get a little hectic with toxic gas coming in and stuff, but the pictures help you greatly with that. But yeah, I'm sitting in a room with a constant supply of toxic gas, and I never have any problems.
That's a fart joke. Hey.
And where's those fart sounds?
Yeah, Omega keeps on or actually, no, it hasn't happened yet. I'm supposed to have OBS open at all times so that when Omega feels one on, I can record it.
All right.
We're working on it. We'll get around to it.
Now, Leetness, you've been so quiet, so I know you really want to talk about Path of Exile, so come on. Tell us all about it.
Well, on Friday, they're releasing the new league, which is titled Delirium. And if you play Path of Exile, you may have heard of Breach, which was one of the league mechanics, and it seems something like very similar to the Breach mechanic. So it looks pretty interesting. They've got a ton of new changes as well that's coming out with this new league, including these new cluster jewels that you can add into your passive tree. Now, if anyone plays Path of Exile, they've seen the passive tree. It's massive and very daunting. Well, they added these cluster jewels to now make it so that it's now got up to 280 new notables. So that basically doubles the existing Path of Exile passive tree, which was already daunting for everybody. Now it's like double the size. So they've got a whole new currency that's going to be released with the league mechanic, which is basically map modifiers that you can add to specifically roll certain rewards on a map. But obviously that means you get more difficulty along with it. They got a simulacrum, which is their new end game mechanic, which it seems pretty interesting. You enter some sort of portal and survive an ultimate end game delirium challenge. So it's going to be some sort of delirium boss, I'm guessing, in there, which is going to be challenging. They've modified the end game, so basically the map system has been improved because I hated the previous map system changes that they did in the last league, Metamorph. Well, I didn't hate it, but it seemed really difficult to progress fast. And the new changes look pretty interesting, and it's more deterministic on when you can actually spawn conquerors on your map. They also added a bunch of skill and support gems, 4 new skills and 3 support gems, one of which is going to be Spell Slinger, which basically allows you to chain multiple skills with that support gem in it. So basically it's like a Poet's Pen. If you know what the Poet's Pen is, it's a unique item that allows you to skill chain. And yeah, looks pretty cool. And then a bunch of new uniques and div cards. So all in all, a ton of stuff coming out on Friday. It's really exciting, and I won't be playing.
Can you spell Spling Conqueror's Portal to Pode's Pin for league cards?
Sure.
It sounds like this Friday's going to be quite promising. We got a Diablo 3 Season 20 comes out, The Path of Exile, and McMurphy is doing his Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Friday the 13th.
That's right. Yeah, Friday the 13th coming up.
Yep.
Yes, that is.
It's a
now,
busy Friday the 13th.
Before we get into the Division 2 stuff, because it's, with the Division 2, they added seasons. Now, you guys have all done plenty of seasons in Diablo 3 and Path of Exile and whatnot. What are your guys' thoughts on seasons, and is it a good thing, or is it just another blah?
I personally love it.
It's definitely a way to keep people playing the game. While adding a minimal amount of content. Some seasons add more content than others. Diablo has been recycling content recently, but it looks like there's new stuff for Season 20.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Diablo's a piss poor attempt at a season. I mean, Diablo in the past as well, Diablo 2's ladder events weren't exactly thrilling. They'd add some sort of small mechanic change or something like that. But for the most part, it's just really rankings and trying to be starting afresh and building your way all to the top again. But Path of Exile, it's basically a brand new game mechanic, completely new game mechanic. They change everything. So it's a drastic change. If you could do something like that in a game, I'd say you've got a winning combination, because that's what makes Path of Exile so amazing. The reason I go back and play every single league is because something interesting is happening.
I would agree, actually. Path of Exile is probably, of all the games that I know that do seasons, Path of Exile might have it down the best, just because they do. I played one season with Leetness, or like 2 days worth of one season with Leetness, and it was pretty different from the Path of Exile game that I had learned to play months, maybe a year before that. Diablo, yeah, not so great. Warframe has their season thing going on. It's called Nightwave. It's basically just, you do daily tasks or weekly tasks, and you get points, and you unlock a reward menu, and, that's fine. But Path of Exile seems like it's doing it right.
Most games do it the way that Warframe does it. It's here's a list of rewards over this amount of time, and you do tasks to unlock points and get rewards, and it's just a mechanic to encourage grinding and just something to make it feel like you're grinding for something.
Yeah.
When the weakness of grinding games is that you're basically grinding for nothing.
Yeah, the first Breakpoint did that. At first, Breakpoint did that, and then they did the Terminator event, which was actual new content. So they spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even the Halo Master Chief Collection has it. You rank up, you play you play matches online, you rank up, you unlock new gear pieces and armor pieces and shit like that. Just extra glitter. It's just a mechanic that gets, like I said, it's just to give you a little carrot to keep you playing the game. Well, at least with D3, like I like the fact that it starts you over with a new character and stuff like that. Like that at least is interesting, and it gives you a reason to try something new rather than doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know anything about Path of Exile. I never played it, but the fact if they are actually introducing truly new mechanics and making it a new experience each time, that is unique. That is definitely something interesting that other games could definitely benefit from adopting.
Yeah, I mean, Path of Exile, the game changes completely. The entire meta changes. They rebalance skills. Essentially, you start again from scratch, and because of the build diversity that you have, there's so many builds that you can. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of builds that you could possibly make, and just through all the different combinations of skills and everything, and passive tree options, and all the different classes that they have, that you'll never run out of builds to make, essentially. And that's what makes it so cool. Is every league they also bring out new skill gems. Like I told you, there's 4 new skill gems and 3 new support gems. These are going to change the game. There's going to be something new to play the game. So it's like a completely new way to play, and they may not be that drastic, the skill changes, but the mechanic is something that's completely different. That's why it's like everyone comes back.
Actually, Omega touched on something that I completely forgot about in this week's topic list, but we should probably touch on. Halo Combat Evolved dropped for the Master Chief Collection on PC. It was last week, right?
Yep, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a ninja drop. Like, there was no build up, nothing. It just, one day you guys got a patch, and that was that. Like, there was hardly any articles on it. I thought it was a little odd, considering it's the first Halo game. Like, it's a big deal, and they just, like, quiet.
Yeah, one day I woke up and I downloaded 687 megabytes, and there it was.
So I know you and Omega have played some of Halo. And Omega, you played the original Halo back on Xbox.
Yeah, I've been a Halo addict for. Oh, it's so good. God, it is so much fucking nostalgia. It is. I'm so happy to be playing this game again. I've been waiting forever to be able to play it again, and I gave up consoles a long time ago, and Halo was one of the things that I was most sad about giving up. And the fact that I can play it again has me more excited than probably any single game release in the last 5 years. And it's just fucking amazing to be playing again. And it's so good. It feels like the original game. It's beautiful. I mean, it's the remastered version. Multiplayer is cancer, but it always was.
Well, it's a Halo game, so
it's Halo like the original Combat Evolved multiplayer devolves into pistol spam because the pistol is so grossly overpowered. But I don't play Halo for the multiplayer, not original Halo, at least for the multiplayer. Like, that is all about the story. It's all about the gameplay. I've been taking Doc there for his run through the campaign. We've been playing it co-op, and like we just did the level that introduced the flood. And I was telling him how like when I first played that when I was practically a kid, it still is like I've played horror games, I've played all kinds of like crazy games like that. It is still to this day, the introduction of the flood is one of the most terrifying moments in video games that I've ever experienced, and it was just so fun to be able to relive that and go through all of that again. It's so good.
Did they change any mechanics or tweak anything, or is it pretty much the original Halo with better graphics and some fancy lighting stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty much the original Halo. Like Doc and I were talking about that, how frustrating it is that there's no run button. But
sprint?
No, there's no sprint. But like, you look at the timeline of first-person shooters, and there was the original generation, which was Doom and Wolfenstein, and then you look at the next generation, which was it was GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and then it was Halo. Like, Halo was the welcome to modern video games first-person shooter, and they've come so far since then with so many added, like so many new mechanics and built upon that original core. But it is so much fun to go back to that original core.
Yeah, I can see how sprinting would get old, but I mean, I grew up on Unreal Tournament, and those games which didn't have sprint either. Now that games have sprint, I feel like I rely on it too much and love it. But yeah, the old games that don't have it, you have to play them different. Like, you don't realize how much you rely on sprint to get you out of trouble when you don't have it.
Yeah, it also took Doc and myself, for that matter, some getting used to the fact that like certain guns are only hip fire, and there's only a handful of guns in the game that actually have zoom of any sort or like aiming down sights. So a lot of guns are just hip fire, and you have to readjust to that type of gameplay.
That's why I like the needlers best, because I don't need to aim with needlers. My shitty aim does not matter with a needler. So it's my new favorite gun, next to the pistol.
If I remember right, it's the pistol, the battle rifle, the sniper rifle, and then the Covenant sniper rifle all have aim down the sights.
There is no battle rifle. Yeah, there is no assault rifle. It's just the battle rifle in Halo Combat Evolved. The assault rifle, or am I getting the names? Either way, the one that you aim down sights with the 3-round burst wasn't introduced until Halo 2. So the full auto one is just hip fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible gun unless you get up close and you're like hosing elites with it. But the pistol and the sniper rifle and the rocket launcher.
Yeah, rocket launcher is the other one.
Halo in Combat Evolved, I think those are the only 3 guns that have actual aiming or like a zoom mechanic.
Well, and then the Covenant sniper, right? Because there's the Army sniper and then the Covenant sniper too. Or was that introduced in
That's Halo 2. In Halo 1, the Jackals only have plasma pistols.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
right,
killed
they have
a lot
shields.
of Jackals. Yeah, we've killed a lot of Jackals, but I haven't found any Covenant sniper rifles. So
no, sniper Jackals are in Halo 2, and the elites with the what the fuck were they called? It was a single action gun. It wasn't quite a sniper rifle, but it was sort of along those lines that the Covenant used. There are a lot of elites with those as well, but it wasn't until Halo 2 that the advanced Covenant weapons with the zoom were introduced.
We haven't been able to pick up any plasma swords either, have we?
Nope, those aren't in Halo 1. In Halo 1,
we've killed enemies with them.
When you kill an elite with a plasma sword in Halo 1, the sword basically explodes when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Halo. I gotta pick that up. I have to pick up the Master Chief Collection, but it's gonna be a while.
That's so much fun. It's like waiting for each new installment to come out. It has me so excited, and I just can't fucking wait.
Yeah, so next up is Halo 2, and then if I got this right, it's Halo 3 next, and then it'd be Halo 3 Otis,
ODST.
and then
it's
and
an
then,
it's initialism, not an acronym.
wow, but it's Orbital Dropship Trooper.
Shock Trooper.
Or Shock Trooper, and then Halo 4 will bring up the rear. Halo 4 is kind of the one I'm looking forward to because I like the I forgot what they're called now. They're basically co-op missions that are not in the story. You just go and do them by yourself.
Firefight?
No, it's a co-op thing. They're like custom maps.
Yeah, Firefight. They have that already. They're in the Master Chief Collection. You can go online
actually, we can do
play
that.
Firefight rounds, and it's in Reach. They don't have them in the CE engine, but in Reach, it's 4 players. It's 2 or 4 players against waves of Covenant on different maps and different settings, different weapons. There's actually there's like you can play it seriously, or there's the arcade mode, which is a blast where like each game is a different set of weapons. It's like there's only rocket launchers or only grenades or only the power hammers and the plasma swords. It's so much fun and so much chaos, and it's goddamn hilarious. But yeah, they do have Firefight. It's just waves. It's just fighting waves, defend the point kind of deal.
Spartan Ops. That's what I was waiting for. It's a co-op it basically sees it. There are different episodes and you play through it. It's a separate co-op story. And they're called Spartan Ops. That's what I was talking about. But yeah, Firefight's like a horde mode.
I'm super excited for Halo 2 and specifically Halo 3 ODST is a ton of fun as well. It's a big departure from the rest of the Halo series, and that's why I liked it so much. You don't play the Master Chief, you play one of the soldiers. And you like come across Spartans and like they are godly and you're just like a regular pissant soldier. I mean, you're one of the like special forces guys because you're an ODST, but it's a very interesting dynamic when you're not the super soldier in power armor who can just run through and club an entire squadron of elites and grunts to death. It's a very different style of gameplay.
That's my whole strategy, actually. I was gonna say, Omega, yeah, it must be really fun for you playing these missions, dragging my sorry ass behind you, because I just run head first into things and start whacking them on the head. It's hilariously fun.
Well, that's what you do in Combat Evolved. That is the number one gameplay. I remember it was like the big revolution in playing on Xbox was when you switch your controls from the default setup to green thumb, which let you melee by clicking the thumb button instead of having to move your thumb off of the thumbstick to an actual button. So it just made your melee that much quicker. It opened up like a whole new level of ability in playing Halo.
All right. Okay.
I did notice the Master Chief Collection, they also have a bunch of different layouts programmed in, unless you're Omega, and then you have to reprogram all the keys anyway for every game. But for the rest of us, there are a bunch of different presets.
Were you talking controller presets or keyboard presets?
I don't know about keyboard, but I know controller, there's like 6 or 7 of them now, and you can play them all. Like they have a standard FPS layout, which changes the Halo layout to your standard FPS, where melee's on the right thumbstick, B is crouch, and stuff like that.
I always played boxer layout when I played Halo.
With boxer, that's the left
I don't even
trigger
remember what that was.
Yeah. It's been too long. You have to play it again.
I've got to sit on my Xbox. I'm gonna have to fire that up again.
So yes, and Bomb comes in. Well, I guess we could talk about the Division 2.
Oh boy, you're gonna talk about Division Wani?
Oh yes. That was a great game.
Wait, I thought it was Destiny 2 we were talking about, not Division.
Oh, my bad, dude. I'm sorry. Did you want to back out? I think Zero's got the Destiny 2 chat covered. So yeah, we mentioned the seasons are coming in the Division 2. I believe
Zero's playing.
seasons are
WoW.
up. Yep, he is.
Zero's done with the podcast.
He fired up
Yeah.
WoW before Gobi did the introductions. It was like, all right, guys, we're about to get ready for the podcast, and he fucking fired up WoW.
He's in a raid.
Actually, no, I'm not.
Leroy
Y'all can all kiss
Jenkins.
my ass.
He's been in WoW for like the past 3 days.
Hey, I've got one thing to say to all you. Give your balls a tug, you tit fuck.
Jonesy.
To be fair,
To be fair,
To be fair.
see, there's someone who's also a connoisseur among this crowd.
So we were talking about seasons and other games. Division 2, their first season is going to introduce 5 new people that you have to go take down. So basically, it's the same thing as the Warlords in New York campaign, except for it's set in Washington, D.C., I believe. And you have 5 targets. You kill all 5 targets, and you unlock the new EMP sticky bomb variant, which there's already the incinerary and the explosive variants of that. So Warlords has been out for a week now. Bomb, what were your thoughts? Good update, bad update?
well, I guess it's hard for me to say good or bad update because I never played Division until a week ago. Actually, Nighthawk's like, hey, go buy Division because Destiny's been sucking lately. So I was like, all right, I need something different. And I mean, I picked it up and we went through the campaign in the last week, and then we've gone back to Washington and played through a bunch of that stuff as well. I mean, so far I like it. I'm still learning. I mean, you spent half an hour with me the other night kind of teaching me or explaining how to look at creating your builds and whatnot and loadouts, but I'm digging it. I'm having fun. It's, it's something totally different. Well, I shouldn't say totally different than Destiny. I mean, grinding for gear, building your loadouts, looking for certain perks and things like that. But the crafting ability is very interesting, which I'm just starting to get into.
So did you ever play the first Division?
Oh, hey, hang on.
Yep.
I did not play the first Division. I am a newbie to Division.
All right.
So
you killing
way too
Aaron
much time in
Peter.
Destiny and Destiny 2 and Call of Duty, and it's time to just make some changes.
Gotcha. Now, Zero, you haven't played for a while, and I know you haven't touched the Warlords of New York expansion. Actually, have you been in games since the update?
Yeah, I was for a little bit, and of course, naturally, I didn't notice any change. I still think it's better than Destiny.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Dagger
All
in
right.
my heart, man.
So I put a lot of hours in the Division 1. Division 2, I got almost 200 hours into now. I like the update, and I don't like the update all at the same time. It's done some really good things for the game. The new simpler gear is a lot easier to understand. However, the downside of that is I almost feel like it's too simple now, and they needed to find a happy medium. Like before, it was way too complex and just RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG, and it was impossible to get, God rolled gear. Like it never happened. God rolls are back, which are a great thing. The new gear system, I think it needs some tweaks. My biggest issue with it is this is a loot shooter, and the loot drops are absolute fucking trash. Like they did all this update to make better loot drops, and it's a catch-22. In order to play on challenging mode or heroic mode, you have to have good rolled gear. In order to get good rolled gear, though, you have to play on challenging or heroic. And you could play on normal and hard, but like I've been playing, I don't know, I got probably 20 hours into the new expansion, and I'm not finding any roles that are great in normal or hard. We had a new member join the clan, and I was running with him the other day. We ended up running on challenging, and the gear got a little bit better, but like it didn't get noticeably better. So I'm hoping that there's some tweaks coming down the line to fix the loot issues. Other than that, I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking satisfying as hell to kill Keener. It felt good. It really did. The last mission is a pain in the ass. There's a couple things I wish I'd known before I played it. Like EMP grenades are a wonderful thing to use. Makes it a lot fucking easier instead of dealing with basically an unlimited supply of turrets, seeker mines, drones. Like, yeah. But that was good. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm interested to meet the 5 bosses that you got to kill. I'm not looking forward to the global event though. Part of the reason why I asked if you played the Division 1 is they introduced global events in Division 1. This one, I believe it's pretty much the same as Blackout, where you have 3 different types of ammo and you can only do damage to the enemy that has that buff or whatever. So like incendiary ammo only works on a enemy that has a little incendiary symbol next to him. In the Division 2 they kind of up the ante. Now if you shoot a enemy with a bleed icon on them and you have fire damage or whatever, it'll actually shock you, take you out of cover, and punish you for shooting the wrong type of enemy. I'm not actually a huge fan of this because the fucking rushers are insane in the game, and I just see too many people dying from rushers that are the wrong thing, and you got to reload your weapon to get the right ammo. And yeah, it was never fun in the Division 1, and I'm not looking forward to it in this one either. Hopefully they do some better stuff, but I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. Now, you've never played the Division, so this whole Shade Tech level, you kind of came into the game just as that was introduced.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like part of it. I mean, I like the fact that you can kind of customize and increase certain stats, but the grind to actually get a noticeable difference seems a little ridiculous. I mean, when you're getting like 0.2% on weapon damage for every time you level it up.
Yeah, the max is 10%.
Yeah, it just seems a little extreme for how much you have to grind to actually get to those.
I feel like they boosted the XP that it requires to get a level.
Sure.
It used to be, before Shade Tech levels, they had field proficiency caches. So basically, once you hit level 30 or max level or whatever, you would still do the level 30 bar all the way around one more time. And as soon as you got back to 100% full, you got a cache with usually worthless gear. But, you could break it down, sell it, whatever. Sometimes you got lucky and got a decent piece of gear out of it. At least some people did. I never did. But I feel like when they introduced the Shade Tech levels, they increased that twofold and made it twice as much XP to get one level. And then, like you said, the rewards are slim. I mean, I get it, but I don't know. I have a feeling there's more tweaks coming down the line. I mean, it's a good place to start. I think they gave themselves a decent foundation.
Yeah, I agree with where you're coming from. I think there's some good things there, and it's just from what I gather, playing with other guys that have been playing Division 2 for a while before the changes, it's definitely a change. And I think it's okay, we got to make the changes. You got to figure out what's working, what's not working, or how do you end up making it work. But from what I'm seeing overall, I like the system. It's just, I guess, since I unlocked and got to the watch and unlocking the shade levels, that was Monday, Saturday. I mean, I think I'm up to like 6, and I haven't played a ton. So you do progress the levels somewhat easily, but there's quite a bit that's going to go into actually level something up fully.
Yeah, I agree. Now, do you have the season pass, season 1 season pass, or no?
I haven't yet. I guess I bought the Ultimate Edition where I could skip right to Warlords, get to level 30 and start playing the new content. So I did that, got up to level
Nice.
40, beat Keener, and now I've gone back to DC and have played through a bunch of those missions to actually get some of the story filled in, starting to do strongholds and some of that other content that I wasn't able to do until I finished the campaign and got up to 40.
I gotcha. Basically, I'm pretty sure if you have the Ultimate Edition, you have the season pass. For those of you that don't know, the season 1 pass only includes early access to the 3 specializations that came out and a bunch of classified missions. And I think there was some cosmetics or something like that. It wasn't much. They were pretty clear about, what you got when you paid for it and stuff. The classified missions are kind of cool. They're actually a lot of fun. And I highly recommend playing them. They're a good waste of time. Like they have an interesting story. There's collectibles in each one of them. Again, cell phones are back, which if you play the Division 1, you remember running around the map and getting all, what was it, 196, DrNiggle? I think you're the only person I know that got every cell phone in the Division 1.
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm not playing Warframe right now.
Yeah, I went through it too.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a while where Doc and I were doing nothing but scavenging the map for all of that crap.
Collecting glitter.
Yeah.
As you do.
I do like the cell phones in the Division games. They do kind of tell a good side story. I know DrNiggle had one favorite from the first Division. The whole cell phone stories. I can't remember what it was now.
Did I?
Yeah,
I don't dispute you. I just can't remember.
I know I can't. It's been so long since we played, but I know the Fei Lao's sister one wasn't our favorite or anything, but it was neat to, like, it was nice to flesh out the backstories.
Yeah. That was an interesting one. Yeah, just crazy bitch sitting there playing a piano in the middle of the street. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And the Division 2 does the same thing. So, Bomb, you're kind of new to the game. Anytime you hear electronic device or whatever, go pick it up and don't skip it.
Yeah, I've
Listen
been making
to it.
sure I've been picking all that crap up, like the little recordings or whatever.
Because it's the one thing that Ubisoft did really well with the Division and the Division 2 are the cell phones. I really like the amount of time they put into building the backstories behind the NPCs and stuff that you meet in the world. Then you run around and you pick up all these cell phones and you kind of, as you're playing the game, you learn more about them and their backstory and stuff like that. I think my favorites from the first Division were the Luray Barrett ones. It was interesting. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of times we killed her, but it was.
I just really loved all of the just general backstory ones, just the slice of life ones. Like, here's this, hologram of people getting, herded into a truck. Or like, I thought that was really cool, the way that they built, like, the world building of the Division 1. Like, that was really what did it for me. The plot stuff was really cool. Just the general background world building was beautiful.
Also, yeah, wintertime. I don't know.
See,
Something
now,
about that winter setting was just really very appealing for me.
I will. So we all played Division 1 together, and the one thing we can all agree that Division really does for us is the atmosphere of the game. Like, for whatever reason, the first Division had amazing atmosphere. It was a very pretty game, and it's probably one of the first shooters I remember running around and all of a sudden just like stopping in the middle of the street and just staring at something because it was pretty.
Plastic bag.
Right. And they did really well. Now fast forward to the Division 2 New York setting. It has an atmosphere, but it doesn't have that same atmosphere. And I hate to say it, but I think it's the snow in the winter. Like, it really made the atmosphere in the first one, and it's something the second one lacks. I mean, you have rainstorms and stuff like that, and that's cool, but that it doesn't do much. But when it started snowing in the division, like, it was neat. It was fun. It added something to the game. Like, it almost added a horror element to it. Like, you felt more alone. It reduced visibility. Like, it really made you feel a part of New York.
Division 1 just felt so bleak. And
Yes.
I played Division 2 and I got about 5 hours into it, and it didn't hook me. And it's very bright. It's summer, trees are blooming. There's
It's summertime in
colors
DC.
everywhere.
It smells like swamp.
The Division
Wow.
1 was just so dark, and I don't mean like
Yeah.
literally dark, just the feeling of it. It felt like a city.
You against the world.
Well, and, living in New York City
It
for me, it
put
felt
you on
like
edge.
I was in a destroyed city. I felt like it was the end of the world. All life as we knew it was over. Like that was something special that I didn't feel like Division 2 captured in the same way.
No, I agree. I think they tried to go with the whole, hope mentality with the Division 2.
Boo.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah, boo.
that's so 2008.
And well, I don't think they hit. I don't think they nailed it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do love the game and I enjoy playing it. But there's just certain things like I would really much prefer the mechanics of Division 2 in the Division 1 setting. Like the snow, the bleakness, like that would be like the perfect Division game.
Well, it's funny you say that, because to me, part of the reason that Division 2 didn't hook me is because the mechanics felt like Division 1. It doesn't feel like different enough of a game for me that I need to put another 2,000 hours like I did into Division 1.
Well, it's more like the time to kill is much faster in the Division 2. I like that it's more of a cover-based shooter. Like that's why I enjoyed the new mechanics. Some people don't. That's each their own. And yeah, I do agree that some people, the mechanics in the Division 2 are not as good. They feel more of the same as Division 1. Since the last update, one of the things that has been brought up is basically the only difference in difficulty levels are the enemies are bigger bullet sponges, which is a huge disappointment to me because I liked the Division 2 that they weren't bullet sponges, that I could take down a heavy in a mag. Like, I didn't have to worry about a gold bar rushing me because I knew as long as my mag was full, I could drop him. Like, it didn't matter.
It's hard to do a looter shooter, though, where you're doing this constant grind for better gear and pushing your gear levels harder and harder without bullet sponges. That's the two go together. We were talking earlier about Ghost Recon. I mean, Ghost Recon is a game that's designed around one headshot, one kill, pretty much no matter what. And in a game like that, gear score doesn't matter, which is why I think rightfully so, a lot of people like DrNiggle are frustrated by the gear score in Breakpoint because it's just kind of pointless in that sense. But like in a looter shooter where you're getting the same piece of gear that's got better stats than the last time, the same gun, same fire rate, same looks, everything else, just same mechanics, just better stats. If you don't have bullet sponges, those better stats become meaningless. If you can, just random numbers here because I don't actually know how the mechanics work, but if you've got like a gear score 50 weapon and it can take down any enemy in one clip, what's the point of getting a gear score 80 weapon? Why would you grind for that?
Right.
No,
No,
I hated gear
totally
score
get
in Breakpoint. I got it. It was a grinding mechanic. It was to make you come back and grind again to get top tier gear when they increase the gear score. And you're absolutely right, Omega. Doesn't matter what gear score weapon you have in Breakpoint. If you shoot someone in the head, they're dead.
And it's funny you bring up gear score there too, because my issue with Ghost Recon Breakpoint's gear score is almost the same issue I have with Destiny 2's light levels. So you basically hit a soft cap around 200, which I don't have a problem with. But the problem is you can't get any higher than level 250 gear. It's impossible. The only way to get higher than level 250 gear is if you play the raid and you beat the raid bosses. That's it. That is the only way you can get gear that's higher than gear score 250. And the max gear score is 30. So, or 300. Yeah, 30. 300. So the only way to actually get to max gear score is to play the raid 6 times and hope to God you get great rolls on the gear that you want. I don't think gear score belongs in a Ghost Recon game.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't know. What's
Like-
even the point though of going for gear score 300? It's nothing more than like a dick showing contest.
And that's exactly what it is. I mean, I don't get me. I like the raid. I actually really enjoyed doing the raid. With the guys I did. It was really fun. Do I want to do it a whole bunch of times? I don't know about that, but like the few times that I did it, it was enjoyable. I kind of peaked. I did a full raid without doing a single wipe. Nobody dying at all. I mean, we had a couple people go down, but they got rezzed. Nobody respawned and nobody died. Like we didn't wipe a single time. We beat every one of the bosses from start to finish. And I've done that. Now it's like, well, what is there else to do? I could go do it again so I could get slightly better gear that doesn't do me any good in the main island of Ghost Recon.
One thing that I find kind of funny about Doc's complaints about the gear score system, and granted, this is for me coming. I don't have experience with Wildlands, so I don't know what previous Ghost Recons was like. But the gear score thing for me, it really has like, yeah, my gear scores progress as I've played the game. It's kind of had no impact on gameplay though. I'm still aiming for headshots. I'm still playing the game the same way.
It's content locked you from doing raids if you wanted to do raids.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, that is pretty much the only thing that I've noticed. But in terms of like actual typical gameplay, I haven't noticed the progression as being a thing. It's not really something that comes into play.
So I know you said DrNiggle, but I think I can speak to this point. What made Wildlands so much fun, and DrNiggle is not a Ghost Recon guy. Like I don't think he ever played a Ghost Recon game before Wildlands, and it was either Lead or myself who got him into the beta.
It was GT. It was GT Daring. Shout out to
Oh,
GT.
it
We
was
miss
GT?
you. Please come back to TV.
Yes, right. And the thing that he liked with he basically got one setup and you could run the entire game with one setup. You went and picked the gun you like and you just ran with it. Like that
was my whole thing. I still do that. TAC 50 is the sniper rifle that I use. M4A1 is the assault rifle I use. M911 or 1911 is the pistol that I use. That's all I need.
Right. And I mean you can do it in Breakpoint too. It just takes a little every few levels you go in and you craft an M4, a TAC 50, and whatever pistol you like. I like the 45T pistol. In Wildlands, I preferred the 5.7. Different games. I do think with the new update in Ghost Recon, though, I think we're gonna feel like we went back to Wildlands. I think they realized, hey, we kind of had it right with Wildlands. We shouldn't have fucked with the pudding. Let's give them what they wanted, which was pretty much the same thing as Wildlands, just on a different island.
Is fucking with the pudding some sort of weird Wisconsin idiom that I'm not aware of?
I hope so.
It's
Wait, what's the problem with
possible.
Wisconsin, man?
You guys just go around like putting your dick in pudding?
Do you not?
I mean, it's better than apple pie, isn't it?
I mean, I do, but we don't have an idiom for it.
That's a fair point. We don't. Gobi, is it?
It might be a thing. I just, it's the proof's in the pudding.
Does it involve the pudding?
Yeah, we have the proof is in the pudding, not the dick is in the pudding.
Is proof what the kids are calling dicks these days?
We feel so disconnected from today's youth.
Oh, yes.
Those
Bob.
fuckers are always trampling my lawn.
Yes, I am from Wisconsin. About I won't go into details in here, but obviously you're from Wisconsin as well.
Yes, sir.
He called him
Your dick in
sir.
pudding and talk about it
He
also?
called him sir. Wait a minute. This has got to be addressed. There's nothing sir-like about Gobi. Let's just go ahead and put that shit out there right now.
All right, but
Uh,
it goes to the Midwest mentality because I call people sir all the time as well. It's
it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Sir
Well,
and
I mean,
ma'am, they're things.
I-
They're
well,
Like
no,
things.
Zero, I just
and-
call
and-
you a little
and-
bitch because you're not from
and
the
that's
Midwest.
okay because I'm a little bitch. It's because I'm a little bitch. I know this, and I'm okay with that. But it's I'm from the South. We've got the whole Southern thing on lock. We yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. That's our thing. Y'all just appropriated it.
I think what Zero's trying to say is that he doesn't have a problem with it being a term of respect. He has a problem with you addressing it towards Gobi.
Ah, okay,
Yeah, that's it.
fair enough. I will make a note of that.
yeah.
Who drew the picture in the podcast topic list?
No idea.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Oh my
Sure as
god!
hell wasn't me.
Yeah. I don't, anyway. So the
who
last
took
thing I
off
kind of
my
want.
roundtable question?
I did not.
Last thing before we get to the round table. I did talk with Bomb earlier in the week about gear and stuff like that and some builds. For Division 2 right now, if you're gonna play as a solo player, the only viable build for you is a strong DPS build.
All right, if you're going back to Division 2, I'm going back to Warframe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I thought you said it wasn't going to be 35 minutes on Division.
It's not. We talked about Ghost of God for a while there. Tank and skill builds are great for groups, and that's about it. So
It's been 35 minutes of Division 2.
sweet.
Just
It
start
absolutely
hammering that
has been.
buzzer back. Thank you.
Yeah.
My laundry gun?
Buzzer. That sounds like
Okay. Well, apparently we got to go on to the whole round table here because they really want to talk about Friday the 13th. So
Yes, no, that's not it. My original roundtable question was the overabundance in choice that we have in the penis pump market. I want to know what everybody uses and why it's their favorite.
I tried Gobi.
I'm asking for a friend.
I did not see this round table
Is that
question.
friend Little
so-
Niggle?
How don't you know my name?
Yeah, that might be one of those topics. I mean, Masami can't even answer it. Well, I mean, I guess she could, but that might be a little awkward.
Of course you can.
I don't know. I worked in a sex store for 3 months, so I mean,
Yeah, she's got a husband.
Okay,
She's
all right.
got the
well,
best way to answer.
there we go. You seem to be the professional here. So, how many penis pumps did you really sell?
1 or 2, honestly.
See, this is the weird thing. From a physical standpoint, when you're talking about penis enlargement, the penis pump is actually one of the few things that works. And the reason it works is by drawing blood into the tissues and expanding the viscous vein, or the veins, whatever they're called, the two large chambers of blood. That actually does increase size. Not a lot, and it takes a long time, and it hurts if you do it wrong, or even if you do it right. But, penis pills, that's bullshit. Whatever the holistic crap is, that's also bullshit. There's a lot of just knockoff products out there. Snake oil, basically. But the penis pump, tried and true, throughout history.
So now I gotta ask: is it because you're a doctor that you know that, or because trial and
First-hand
error?
experience. First-hand experience.
I don't understand why it can't be both.
We're not saying it can't. We're just assuming that it's not.
No, if they don't make a penis pump the size of a thimble. I need an extra small one. They don't make them.
Oh, you might be surprised.
This shows how little time
Heyo.
I've spent researching these.
Oh, yes, it's like those eggs we found a while back. We won't get back into that discussion, but
Oh, the eggs! Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle is doing well, by the way.
Those are
that
good.
it is.
I was
think
trying to
they're
buy
back
one
ordered.
to send to you, Niggle.
Are they back ordered?
They're so expensive.
Yeah, I know. It's because they have Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy on them.
I wanted to buy one and send it to you, and I was so disappointed that they were like $100 or something like that.
yeah, that's way too much. Look, I have
Okay,
never
$10
sent,
bucks.
No, I've never sent Linus a gag gift that cost me more than $5.
Yeah, $10 is probably the
That
most I
seems
would
fair.
pay for the candle.
Yeah, I mean a candle. I mean, I'll just get get a regular candle and write on it.
You do realize,
Just
you
right on
do
the
realize
box.
that she had a candle.
Maybe sprinkle some tuna juice on it or something.
They-
Get a
Hey.
desist order from Goop.
Yeah, you just go to the
Just wait
supermarket
until
and buy
Britney
one of those
Spears realizes
candles.
she can make money.
Buy one of those candles from the supermarket and write on the box "vagina candle" and mail it to me.
So,
With an open can of tuna in it or something.
Oh God!
I'm gonna do my best to try and pull this train back slightly onto the tracks.
You know, I've got $1 million idea. For a long time, I thought that they should make an extinguished candle scented candle. You know that smell of the burning
Yes,
wax?
I do.
They should make an extinguished candle scented candle.
It's not a bad idea.
And that's
Interesting.
actually not
Wow.
a joke. I honestly believe that. I enjoy the smell right after you blow out a candle.
It's a good
Zero,
one for
get your
bathroom.
best people on
It's
this.
I think also a diesel smelling candle.
You can just huff gasoline if that's what you want.
Yeah, just can of gasoline in your living room. Just open it up, let it sit.
Gunslingers in no way endorses the sniffing of gas.
No,
also,
Gunslingers
it
doesn't.
should
I
be
totally
noted
do.
that diesel and gasoline are two totally different products.
But well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Totally
One or the
different.
other.
Man.
Well, they smell. Yeah.
No one cares.
Gobi is about to get into his chemistry degree, which we all know he has.
No, I never graduated college. I said
It's
fuck
just a
that.
redneck.
I went to college for 2 years and said fuck this. I'd rather work outside. So I work outside.
Screw you guys, I'm going outside.
Yeah, yep. That was
I
great.
love a good party. I love a good party. That's why I went to college. It's also why I didn't graduate.
We didn't party. We just sat around smoking weed, being depressed.
We did a lot of that.
And playing
too.
Halo.
That's true. I watched Omega play a lot of Halo while I was blitzed out of my mind.
It was like Halo, Stepmania, Unreal Tournament, and
Roller
Unreal
Coaster
Tournament
Tycoon.
was so
Roller
good.
Coaster Tycoon. Yep.
They should really bring that back.
Which
Yeah,
one,
Roller
roller
Tournament was
coaster?
a blast. Roller Coaster Tycoon was also a blast. They got some.
We need to
knockoff
start up our
products these days.
multiplayer server of that. We need to,
Yeah,
we should do
I
that.
forgot. There's so many things that we need to build in Coaster Tycoon.
Oh boy, I don't. You know what? I don't even want to know. Nope.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's the dumbass round table that replaced my genius round table question? What are we doing on Friday the 13th?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go outside, pull down my pants, and see if I can spy Jamie Lee Curtis through my binoculars.
So your typical Friday the 13th?
Well, it's actually typical Tuesday, but it's gonna be Friday this day.
Well, we know now that it's a thimble sized, so ultimately you can do that and no one will see anything.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like someone glued an acorn to the bottom of my torso.
So would they even give you an indecent exposure ticket for that?
I mean, technically yes, but I don't think if anybody had a picture or anything that a judge could prove anything.
It's like Chow. It's like Chow. You could get away like PG-13 with him running around naked.
What about you, Lee? What are you doing on Friday?
I'm going to Barbados.
Okay,
Boring.
Masami.
Absolutely nothing because Saturday is D&D.
So playing Warframe all day. Okay.
D&D.
No, there might be some Minecraft, there might be some GTA 5, which these adorable nerds got me into.
GTA 5. How'd you get your hands on that?
I don't know, there was like a Humble Bundle sale. It was pretty fantastic.
So just out of curiosity, how many hours do you have in GTA?
Fuck, I don't know. I'd have to look.
I
I'm
just
just
love how
curious.
you're the only one who takes that game seriously.
Well, we all did for a little while.
Yeah, we all did for like 5 minutes.
I mean,
When I
like-
started and I needed money, yeah, I grinded that a little bit.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
that's
I think
basically what I'm. You need money to faff around and be an idiot, so that's what I'm trying to.
How many
I
hours?
did-
We're having a dick measuring contest here, and Masami might be the only person I can beat. So how many hours do you have in GTA 5?
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna beat me.
Look on Steam. I'm just curious how much you've been playing in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't
112.
play it through Steam. I'd actually have to load it up and load it in my profile.
Nuts to
Oh,
that.
never
All right,
mind. Yeah, never
moving
mind.
on.
Bomb, what are you doing on Friday?
I don't know yet. Hopefully my wife is back in town and we'll go to dinner and shit, but who knows?
So you're hoping to do your wife on Friday. Good to know.
Roger that.
0?
What? Huh? What? Wait.
He's playing
what was
Warcraft.
the question?
WoW.
What was,
Hey,
what was the question? Wait.
It's WoW all day, every day. That's all you do.
The answer
No,
is that he's playing WoW.
Yeah. Well,
So I
there's
was
that.
going to ask what you're going to do on Friday, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say work and play WoW.
You are correct, sir.
Minus the work.
You can play Warframe too.
Yes, he did download Warframe. I did see that. Oh. He was
Y'all are
talking
gonna
about
make
that.
me go build a PC here again too. You're gonna kill me.
Yep.
Yep, we
Yep.
are. You damn straight we are. We are masters at bringing you to the dark side. I take no credit for this. I blame DrNiggle. It's all him.
What did I do?
Actually, I believe technically it would be my fault, but you know.
That's fine. You can
I'm
take the
not
blame.
building a PC to go play Warcraft. I can tell you that right now.
Well, you can come play the Division 2 and Ghost Recon with me, and
I might go.
and
I might build them to go play Destiny too. You know, because you guys love that game so much. I can tell.
Hey, I do play it with my kids, because
Because
only people who
5-year-olds
appreciate
really
it.
enjoy Destiny.
All right,
yep.
So I am 5 years old. Got it.
Sorry.
Welcome to the clan. You've been initiated. You're fine.
Omega, what are your big plans?
So about a week ago, I joined a D&D Discord server because I DM a game with Leetness, DrNiggle, and Masami, and so I was looking for a place where I could go to talk to some people about some ideas that I had or whatever. And there was a looking for group channel on the server, and so I ended up joining a game that's doing a one-shot on Friday, and it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's set in a setting called Kamigawa, which is setting inspired by like feudal Japan. That's actually from Magic the Gathering. But I think the funniest part is that one of the races in this setting is called the Kitsune, which are basically fox people. And two of the people in this gaming group that I'm playing with are playing those characters, and they have both freely and openly admitted that they picked them because they are furries.
That's interesting. You'll have to tell us all about that
They
experience.
deserve to be stuffed into a cannon and shot off the face of this planet.
There's
Yeah,
no
I'm
kink
hoping they
shaming
die.
here.
Except for furs.
Except for furries. Disgusting.
Furries are the exception to the rule.
Stop with the weeb shit.
Never.
Oh,
So yes, I'm playing in a what should be a fun D&D one shot.
nice.
It's because he hates our group.
No, it's because I don't get to be a player. I'm the
I know,
DM,
I know.
so I'm looking forward to getting a chance
Hey,
to play.
we're gonna set off on that. We're gonna find the fucking castle, and we're gonna bring Silgar with us. So you're gonna be playing Silgar because we can't. Or you could spirit us, a couple more NPCs that we meet in the woods along the way who are doing the same thing, and then you could have yourself like 2-3 characters.
There you go.
Just, I mean, not all of us play D&D, and some of us know D&D, but just for those that don't know what D&D, what is DM?
If you don't know what D&D is and you're over the age of 9, you live a very sad existence.
So
Thank
Dungeons
you.
and Dragons is responsible for most of the mechanics in modern day gaming.
Yeah, pretty much. It's where like Diablo comes from. It's where anything that involves like building and growing a character over time and getting increasingly better gear over time.
Leveling up.
Yeah,
So basically, every RPG is what you're saying.
pretty much. I mean,
Pretty
D&D
much,
is an
yeah.
RPG. It's a tabletop
direct-
RPG.
Yeah, it's kind of a direct translation of the.
It was computer RPGs before there were computers to play games on.
But yeah, so
Yeah, but a DM is a dungeon
in
master, the
D&D,
dude in
you
charge.
don't have there is no game telling you what to do. There is the dungeon
There's-
master who creates the world, who puts the enemies in it, who basically is god of this world, and then the players play in that world. So, yeah, Masami said a bad pun in the last session, so I made a meteor fall on her head.
Yep, and then I ignored the damage because, D5s are ridiculous.
I asked. No, I
Anyway.
asked if I had to revive her, and you were just like, no, and then we just carried on. But the message was clear. Actually, Masami got 2 penalties last game. One was for telling the pun. The other was for being helpful. Apparently, you're not supposed to be helpful.
This is Omega's game, so that sounds about right.
Yeah, you know what?
Hey,
we're all
I am
learning.
I am a good fair DM.
So
You're
we
bleeding
learned.
out. I have bandages, but I can't use them on you. Screw you.
Right, we're all learning. We're adapting to Omega. We're learning how to play the game.
Yes, it's
I used-
very interesting watching you all play, having, 10 plus years of experience under my belt doing various things.
Well, as I understand it, 95% of the game is hitting something with a hammer.
Yes.
I just
Hopefully my DMing isn't too disappointing to you.
No, it is not. It is
It is
fine.
not.
You're a first timer.
Wait, that's a backhanded compliment.
That was a very
Yes.
You're doing fine for somebody that's never done this before in their life. I doesn't know
on
what
that
D&D
note,
is.
So you could be
I
a
should-
model in South Dakota.
You don't want to know what a model in South Dakota looks like.
now we're talking about South Dakota and not the boom towns, right? Because I don't consider those South Dakota.
Yeah, it
What?
is what it is.
It's a state in the middle of nowhere with only the western half known what is going on, or known by the rest of the country for, and the eastern half just doesn't exist.
Also, I
Wait,
gotta.
what
I
are there
what
gotta
is
trees?
the western half known for?
Mount Rushmore, Black Hills, that stuff. Presidents' faces on Indian tribal.
Oh,
Oh, I know about
You-
I know about Mount Rushmore, but that is completely separate from any knowledge that I have about South Dakota.
you completely forgot about Crazy Horse. How can you forget
And-
about Crazy Horse? The monument that was supposed to be done like 5 years ago that still isn't even halfway done.
Oh, I thought that was a liquor.
No, there's Mount Rushmore, but over by Mount Rushmore, they're supposedly making this giant rock sculpture of Crazy Horse, and it was supposed to be done by I think 2015. The last time I was there was like 1995, and I don't think they're more than halfway done with it yet.
Well,
Yeah, no,
it gets
not
very
right.
cold
Well,
there. Nobody wants to work outside when it's cold.
And they're carving a giant horse out of a fucking mountain. It's gonna take some time.
Well, again, I said it the last time I visited was 1995.
All right,
They've made some progress since then.
so we're pushing an hour and 20 minutes. So I just want to tell
Yeah.
everybody that we're about to start up the Clue podcast. This is where we talk about Clue. We do this frequently. Ellen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, and Leslie Ann.
Spoiler: the butler did it.
That is
The
one of the possible
library.
endings. What is everyone's favorite Clue ending? Masami.
I've only played the board game.
Okay, we should probably
Usually-
move on. Leetness.
Oh God! Now I'm so mad.
You know what? I
I'm
think we'll just
so
save this for the
sad.
Clue podcast, and we're gonna wrap this up. So, I want to thank you guys all for joining, and I want to thank you all for listening. Hopefully, we'll hear you next week. Peace.
Yes.
Later.
Penis.